of Charleston West, by God, Virginia. You're probably gonna hate this guy. Give it up for Seth. Take it out. Always good to come up after an awkward moment. So I was banging this chick on my roof, and she was like, "Aren't you worried about the shingles?" And I was like, "Nah, baby, I've been vaccinated." A lot of people are worried about getting autism from vaccines. Well, I don't see why they're worried. You can prevent autism with sunscreen. It says right on the bottle, blocks 99% of the spectrum. I think it's interesting that the gays got to choose the rainbow as their symbol, you know, but when you think about it, it's the perfect symbol for them. Because what's a rainbow? It's bright, and it's colorful, and it's definitely not straight. And whenever one of them comes out, like, it's special, you know, for like 2 minutes, but then you pretty much move on with your day. My postman got a sex change, so now I have a male woman. I guess she's still technically postman, you know, but I'm all for it, you know. I was like, more power to you. She was like, I didn't sign for this package. A buddy of mine got transition lenses, you know, and I was thinking about that, transition lenses. I'm not sure transition lenses are something that I agree with. Like, if I found out my glasses wanted to transition, I'd be like, I have no sunglasses. Are you sure you're not just bifocals? So, I lost a lens out of my frames, you know, so I tried to go to the optometrist to get it fixed, you know, but I couldn't see well. Like, I accidentally went to the optimist. You know, like, but he told me things are gonna be okay. You know, my prescription glasses are half full. You know, so I decided to ditch the glasses, get some contacts. You know, so after I added 1-800-CONTACTS to my contacts, I contacted them. And then I gave them my contact information. And then I gave them my contact information. I was gonna write a letter to somebody, you know, that I needed to contact, so I used contact paper, you know, but the shit keeps sticking to whatever I'm writing on, you know, so I just have to table that shit for later. I think it's weird that we only use air quotes, like air quotes, like there's no other form of air punctuation. You know, I think we're missing out. Like, where are the periods and the commas and the apostrophes? Like, I don't see why we can't do that. I think it's strange, you know, when it comes to like were animals, you know, you only ever hear about werewolves, you know, where are the other types of were animals? You know, I figure best case scenario, if I could choose a were animal, I'd want to be a were sloth. You know, because you think about it, once a month you'd be like, what's happening to me? And then you wake up, it's 8 hours later. You're on your living room floor. You're like, oh, God, how did I make it down the hallway? Moss. Popular saying is a rolling stone gathers no moss. You know, and I was thinking about that, like, lots of things don't gather moss. I feel like a more accurate saying would be like, only stationary stones and sloths gather moss. I don't know if you guys noticed when I changed into the were sloth that I changed into a were three-toed sloth instead of a were two-toed sloth. Because I think it's easier to be a three-toed sloth. And the reason is air quotes. You know, you can't take a two-toed sloth seriously. You'd be like, hey man, did you eat all the leaves? Thank you. I'm sorry. But I shouldn't do that, you know, use air quotes to make fun of an animal. The first instance of air quotes being used to make fun of an animal happened 65 million years ago to make fun of the T-Rex, the so-called king of the dinosaurs. I think it's strange that they call Bigfoot Bigfoot. You know, doesn't Bigfoot have more than 1 foot? You know, he's got to be like, I'm a big feet. Why do they think less of me? You know, or is it Bigfoot like he's got 1 big foot? You know, like either way, we shouldn't be calling attention to that shit. Mama! They thought they found the Loch Ness Monster, you know, but they actually found the Like Ness Monster, which is a well-known impersonator of the Loch Ness Monster. I like conspiracy theories. I don't know if you guys have gathered that, but I also like conspiracy theories about conspiracy theories. Like, lots of people think Bigfoot doesn't exist, but that's just what Bigfoot wants you to think. Lots of people think Dr. Scholl's is a real doctor, but that's just what Bigfoot wants you to think. I love infomercial products. You know, I love watching infomercials. You know, Billy Mays was a personal hero of mine. You know, God rest his soul. You know, but at least he died doing what he was best at. You know, being psyched as shit over some white powder. Heaven's pearly gates are now a little wider thanks to the stain-reducing lifting power of OxyClean. I feel like Netflix has ruined what I expect from television. You know, like one day I was flipping through the channel guide, you know, and I thought I found the show that I wanted to watch. Shark Vacuum. You know, and I put it on. And it was an infomercial for a vacuum cleaner. Like here I was thinking, shark vacuum, sharks in space. And then it was a vacuum. I was steamed, much like the steam-powered, stain-reducing lifting power of the shark vacuum. I watch too many commercials, you know, I find myself like writing commercials of my own for like products and stuff. You know, one day I was like listening to Adele and I was thinking about the Roomba and I was like, Roomba grabs it, Roomba grabs it, Roomba is a robot vacuum that cleans your floor. You know, like, but one infomercial product, you know, that I'm a little bit wary of would have to be like the shake weight. You know, like, that's the last thing you want, you know, is to develop an iron vice-like grip, you know. You need to slow the girl down, be like, hey, you don't get to be Queen of England if you pull the sword from the stone. It's not Sexcalibur. One time, I was at the doctor, you know, and I had waited at the doctor for so long. You know, they had left me in the waiting room to condition me to the idea of waiting, and then they escorted me back to a smaller waiting room to wait for the doctor. What I like to do is if they keep you waiting too long, just take your hospital gown, flip it around backwards, like it's a cape. Doctor finally comes in. Oh my God, what are you doing? I'm being super patient. I like picking fights outside of hospitals, you know, because it makes me feel like a lion picking off one of the weaker ones. You know, what's great about that plan is if I do bite off more than I can chew and some old man whoops my ass with a walker, you know, hey man, I'm at the hospital. I think it's weird that they call it a walker, you know. The walker doesn't walk. You know, I feel like the proper name should be the proper. You know, it's the same naming rules I think they use for the cooler. You know, the cooler doesn't cool shit. They called it the warmer over longer, and then changed it to cooler, because it sounded cooler. I think we should have more names for amputees, you know? Because I was looking into this, you know, and I think there's just one specific word for an amputation, and that's decapitation, where you have your head removed. And I was thinking about this, like, we can't just be stumped after one, okay? We gotta go all the way with it, okay? Here's the hook. If you're missing from the wrist down, you're handicapped, okay? If you're missing from the elbow down, you're disarmed, okay? If you're missing from the knee down, you're decaffeinated. You lost your kick. You know, if you're diabetic, more than likely you will end up defeated. But if those were the naming rules, it's for sure that no man would ever want to be dismembered. I bet that one cancer that would catch anybody off guard, like, would have to be eye cancer. I mean, you know, talk about being blindsided. You know, like, when you think about it, yeah, eye cancer sucks because, yeah, you have cancer, but now you're also getting all these constant annoying updates from Apple. They're like, yeah, with your new eye cancer, you're going to need to get the new Apple eye patch, and then you're going to need to download patches directly to your Apple eye patch, directly from the Apple eye patch. You know, the upside of eye cancer, though, is you'd have that eye patch and bandana look down for when the cancer finally reached your brain and made you talk like a pirate. And people would see you, oh my God, what happened, dude? The big C. Oh. One word that I'm flabbergasted by would have to be the word flabbergasted. Like, can anybody tell me, like, the roots of this word, like, flabbergasted? Like, because if you're just looking at it, if you're just looking at the word flabbergasted, it kind of looks like it means that maybe that you're haunted by a fat ghost. You know? Hey man, can you help me move this weekend? I can't. My aunt came to stay and she died unexpectedly, and ever since then we've just kind of been flabbergasted. A lot of people believe the flat earth theory, and I was thinking about this. They must be super happy that the earth is flat horizontally, because if we were flat vertically, everybody would be on edge. I feel like a better flat earth theory would be that earth just lost its fizziness. You know, that's what you get for fucking with the caps. I have a great get-rich-quick scheme at the expense of those poorer than me. I'm a traveling comedian, so those poorer than me are homeless people. So all you need to do is take a single, solitary, shiny quarter. What you do is you walk up to a homeless person, you're like, see the quarter? See the quarter? Go get the quarter! And then when he scurries off to get the quarter, you take his cans. Okay? Recycle his cans, get more quarters, go to homeless people, more quarters, more cans. Eventually you have this nice little nest egg, you can start hiring people to do this for you. You know, you call yourselves the Illuminati, okay? And you're saving the earth, you're recycling. I was thinking about this, like, a lot of times they're like, oh, hey, you need to cut up these 6 rings when you throw them away because they're getting into the ocean and turtles are, like, getting caught into them. You know, I'm not one to accuse turtles of being slow, okay? But aren't they the only thing in nature that can take whatever's caught and just kind of, you know, just pull it up over? Popular saying, you know, whenever you take care of 2 things at one time, is you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And I was thinking about this. It's infinitely easier to kill 2 birds with 1 stone if you just keep reusing the same stone. Okay? Stones are sturdy, birds are soft. You could kill like 5, 6 birds with a stone. And you wouldn't have to keep finding new stones each time, so you really would be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. They say a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. I say a bird in the hand is in violation of the North American Migratory Bird Act and is subject to a $10,000 fine and jail time. I have way too many bird jokes, you know, but I don't want to be pigeonholed as that comedian. You know? Like, I feel like the first thing to ever get pigeonholed would have to be the pigeonhole, you know, because really it's just a hole. You know, then somebody was like, nah, dude, that's a hole for just pigeons. That's how it got pigeonholed. I I've been thinking about joining a gym. You know, I'm a little bit leery about it ever since they started calling working out or resistance training. Somebody's like, hey, do you want to go to the gym? No thanks, guy. I don't want to be part of your uprising. You know, but I do want to go to the gym. You know, one of the reasons I want to go to the gym is I want to get ripped like Jesus. Like, have you seen pictures of Jesus? Like, that guy is shredded. And it doesn't make sense. How did Jesus get so muscular? Like, is it from all of that walking? Like, it can't be. Is it swimming? It can't be, because for him, that's just walking. You know, so how did Jesus get so fit? You know, I know what you guys are thinking. The answer's right in front of you. CrossFit. You know. But it can't be, I thought about this, it can be CrossFit. CrossFitters killed Jesus. They were like, what is he, 5'2", 5'3"? Oh, okay, you can't mention that Jesus is short without at least somebody getting a little cross. No, but the real reason Jesus is ripped is because, think about this, like Jesus never had a home of his own, you know, so he's always just staying with friends and family and whatnot. So he's a squatter, okay? He's a carpenter, so he's always pushing his wood wares and stuff, you know, so he's a bench presser. And of course, as we know from Easter, he's a dead lifter. You know? It's the big three. The Trinity. No, but like Jesus is so ripped, you know, he looks like he's like, come unto me, bro. Come unto me and I'll give you reps, you know? But what if Jesus did talk like that, you know, like a frat guy? You know, like when you think about it, Jesus was the original frat guy, you know, he's like Alpha Omega, son. You know, he's starting a frat. You know, he's got his 12 pledge bros, you know, everything's going good until one of them turns him in for hazing. He's like, you made us eat his body and drink his blood. Anyway, what was I talking about? I think it's cool that hitchhikers got the thumbs up, like, as their symbol. Like, it's awesome, you know, because it's so positive. Like, nobody's going to pick you up at the side of the road if you're standing there like this. To me, it's weird that the thumbs up's a positive symbol because the thumb itself is opposable. The opposable thumb. At least that's its thumb wrestling name. I think it's strange that sometimes they teach monkeys sign language. You know, why is it that we just assume that monkeys are deaf? You know, if monkeys were deaf, then the hear no evil monkey would just be a monkey. You know, but I was thinking about this, like, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, and it got me thinking about Helen Keller. You know, so I've prepared a special treat for you guys tonight. I've written a song about the miracle worker, Helen Keller's teacher, you know, and I've set it to the tune of Hootie and the Blowfish's I Only Want to Be With You. And I'm gonna sing it a cappella because Helen Keller was deaf. You and me, we come from different lands. You like to laugh at me when I spell jokes in your hands. Sometimes you're cranky and you wonder why. You bump into things like all the goddamn time. But there's nothing I can do. I've been working with a deafblind you reach me, you've got something to say. You say you're angry, I say you're touchy anyway. You say touching things has lost its appeal, and I just say I'm sorry, that's how you feel. There's nothing I can do. I've been working with a deafblind mute. There's not much to do. I've been working with a deafblind mute. Sometimes I get hungry and I leave the home. You get so mad when I leave you all alone. Then you get bitchy and you wonder why I moved some furniture 6 inches to the right. Now there's not much you can do. Watch out for what you bump into. Can't God be so cruel? I've been working with a deaf-blind mute. I just want to talk about this because it's been in the news, but I think I came up with a cost-effective solution for the US-Mexican border. What we do is we send down a bunch of mimes. We don't need to build a wall if we can convince Mexicans that there is one. The best part about that plan is that the Mexicans that don't fall for our invisible wall would see all the mimes and be like, ugh, I don't want to sneak into France. I think it's weird that they gave the name Doggy Style to just having sex from behind. It's like, Doggy Style, you're just narrowing it to that. Why would you narrow it to that when there's so many different styles of dog? You know? We could be like, hey, I had sex with this girl. We did it doggy style. Oh yeah, what kind of dog? Mastiff. I kind of just crushed her under my weight and drooled all over her back. We did it doggy style. What kind of dog? Chihuahua. I kind of just jumped around everywhere. And I shivered in the corner when she yelled at me for pooping in her purse. We did it doggy style. What kind of dog? Bloodhound. Oh, dude, that's nasty. Has anybody noticed in recent years that they started naming like hurricanes after old people, like giving hurricanes like old people names, like Harvey, Irma, Gertrude? It's because they realize that hurricanes are like old people. You know, they just slowly migrate to Florida. And then they just kind of die. Hurricanes are also like old people because hurricanes are all about displacing Latino families. So I was thinking about this, you know, the original story of the marathon is this guy, you know, ran the 26.2 miles, like, to deliver his news from one town to another and immediately, like, dropped dead. You know, and then, like, ever since then, you know, people, like, run the marathon, you know, and all of them do it with the expectation, you know, that there's a chance that they could die at the end of it, you know? Hashtag Boston Strong. Oh man, you guys ran with it there for a little bit, just for it to bomb at the end. I gotta throw out one of those every now and then. Is anybody disappointed that on New Year's, you know, they don't actually drop the ball? You know, they don't drop the ball. It's a total letdown. You know, but I haven't really watched New Year's on TV ever since, like, Dick Clark died. You know, it just hasn't, like, felt the same. You know, but we should have all seen it coming. Like, it's not the first time that a dick has gone limp from stroking it. I told that joke to a buddy of mine who had had a stroke. You know, he didn't laugh, but the best I got out of him was a little half smile. All right, I'll go back to the more family-friendly stuff. I think I killed my houseplant with beer. You know, it's gotta be the beer. You know, but everywhere I read online said that the plant would thrive in natural light. I'll leave you guys with this one. I think a lot about sayings, and one of the sayings that you hear a lot whenever you miss an opportunity, is whenever God closes a door, he opens a window. I was thinking about this. Whenever God closes a door, he opens a window. Does heaven not have central air? Whenever God closes a door, he opens a window. Like, the only room in my house where I close the door and open the window is the bathroom. Is God getting ready to take a shit on my life? Thank you, everybody. That's my time. I'm Seth Taylor. For Seth Taylor.